Hello everyone, TMGame here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another one of my Call of Duty Black Ops 2 gameplays. Now today's gameplay is a Peacekeeper gameplay, as you can see. Now I'm using the quick draw and the long barrel on the Peacekeeper, and my perk setup is hardline, toughness and dexterity, which is a great setup for the Peacekeeper. But today's commentary is not really going to be about the gameplay per se, it's going to be about Call of Duty YouTubing in general, because I've been really watching Call of Duty YouTube videos since COD 4. I mean, I remember the first videos I ever watched were XCal's videos on COD 4, and over the course of like the 3-4 years that Call of Duty's been an absolutely massive YouTube hit, the style of gameplay has really changed during that time, and the more I look back and have a look at how the gameplay has evolved, the more I think that the YouTube gaming community has altered how people play Call of Duty quite significantly. And when you look back at those original COD 4 videos with XCal, like I was mentioning a few seconds ago, what he used to do, and I remember him upload a video on Bog in COD 4 using the M16, he would spawn control people so well in domination, he would completely smash guys. And this is how I learnt to play Call of Duty. You know, I saw players like XCal playing the objective, really controlling maps in domination, pushing past flags, holding it, making sure the enemy got nowhere near it, and going mental. And now, I've taken that into how I play. That's how I play. I always play very, very objective-centric. I try and get the defuses like you see here. I try and push past flags and control objectives and get my kills that way. So when I first came into the game, which was COD 4, that was the prevalent YouTube video. Then it sort of moved away from that a little bit, and it moved towards the sniping side of things. I mean, if you remember Modern Warfare 2, if you didn't snipe on YouTube, no one was interested. I mean, this was the time of Grizz and of Hutch, who were absolutely massive, and everyone who was interested in Call of Duty followed them and watched their stuff. And as a result, you saw absolutely tons of quickscopers, and you know, this was when Optic first became big. So you saw loads of Optic wannabes trying to do 360 no-scopes and all that stuff. And you noticed that heavily in the game. And then when that sort of finished and moved on, the next style of commentary came up, and that was more of a TDM kill-based commentary. And you sort of saw players go into games and then they'd upload scores. For example, like a 35-2 would be considered good enough to be uploaded in a TDM, because you've got over half of your team's kills there or thereabouts, and you've got under 5 deaths. That was about the rule. If that was your gameplay, that was worthy of uploading. You began to see a lot of games like that, and that began the shift, I think, towards kills as opposed to flags and whatever, because you know, one of the big complaints I have about Call of Duty isn't the gameplay, it's the way people play it. And you see so many people sit back, literally hundreds and hundreds of miles from objectives with a dual band LMG, camp and go 10-2 and think they've had a good game. And I think this is where you began to see the YouTube community influence how people play. And this TDM focus, which was heavily on kills and great ratios and great KDs, you know, people have always been interested in their KDs, but this was when it was ramped up to the next level. You know, people were uploading 20 KD games, 30 KD games, and everyone was going, wow, you know, these guys are pretty good. But then from there, it's moved on to the phase where I think it's in now, which is the hyper game. So if you don't get 150 kills, you are terrible at Call of Duty all of a sudden. You see people upload these absolutely redonkulous scores. So they'll go like 140-3. And like stuff like Modern Warfare 3 or the original Black Ops, when you had Chopper Gunner, you had Dogs, Blackbird, people would begin to throw up these insane gameplays. The problem with this was it created a snowball effect, because as soon as one person uploaded a 100 kill game, the next commentator would go, right, I want to upload a 110 kill game, and then he did that, and then the other guy would go, right, he beat my score, I want to get 120 kills now, 130 kills, and it got to the point where everything suddenly snowballed out of control, and people going ultra, right, I have to get these stupendously high amount of kills, otherwise people are going to call me a scrub and say, well, you're not very good at Call of Duty because so-and-so got 130 for 4 on this map and using that weapon. So it began to create this sort of ridiculous arms race in the community. And what I don't think people understood was, these games are highlights. Every single game a YouTuber uploads is a highlight in Call of Duty. People never play that well randomly. And if you see a guy who claims he gets 100 kill games every single day, they are lying. They are flat out lying in Black Ops 2, because You know, I play with a guy called PBJB, and I've mentioned him loads of times before. He's an absolutely fantastic Call of Duty player. He has a score per minute well over 500. He has a win-loss well over 4. His KD's, I think it's about 3. He has never got a 100 kill game in Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Never. Yet you see all of these guys upload these 100 kill games all the time, and the vast majority of them are faked. I mean, there are some legit great players out there. I mean, if you look at Ronaldinho or Fearcrads, they are legitimately ridiculous at this game. They are awesome at this game. But for every Fearcrads or Ronaldinho, you get people who can't get that level of score because, let's be honest, it's unattainable in Black Ops 2. So they fake the game. They'll upload a gameplay and they'll only show the 2 bits of the game where they were going mental, and then they'll flick to the end and there'll be a scoreboard and it'll say 110 kills. And they have photoshopped it. And this is what the arms race has done to Call of Duty. It's made it so that if you play the objective and if you run counter UAV, sentry gun or something like that and get a couple of bomb plants, all of a sudden that isn't enough because you haven't got 150 kills. And the problem with this is, it's really altered how people think about Call of Duty and how people play it, because now the emphasis is on getting kills and getting these massive streaks instead of getting the win. And a perfect example of this is, I watched a video of a guy, and I'm not going to say who he is because I don't want, you know, to cause a flame war or anything. He was uploading a game saying, you know, all of these 100 kill games are fake. I don't think you guys realise just how many of these are photoshopped. And he uploaded a gameplay in the background of that when he was using the AN-94, and he got like 74 kills and 5 deaths, which is a good score, but his team lost. And he spent the entire game camping in 2 rooms. His team lost by 35 points in the domination game, and he considered that worthy of an upload. And it's really skewed Call of Duty for me, because people say like, oh, there's so many campers in these games, you know, so many people just sit back and do nothing. Why do they do this? And I think the answer is, it's because that is what has become expected of them. They are now expected to go 60-2 all the time. And the only way people can do that, because they don't have the gun skill of a Ronaldinho, is to camp, is to use a dual band LMG and sit in one place and head glitch. Because any other playstyle is unattainable for them. So it creates this mentality, which I think is incredibly self-defeating. You get players going for these scores which are completely unattainable and playing the game in a way which isn't fun to play, isn't fun to watch, and really brings the game down overall. So that's going to be the end of the commentary. I'm going to be really interested to see what you guys think about this, because I've actually had to sit down and have a think, and for me, the YouTube community has a massive influence on how people play Call of Duty, and all of this, you know, the negativity, the play style, the camping, I think that's a byproduct of the evolution of YouTube's commentating on Call of Duty. There's been so much emphasis on these ridiculously high kill games, instead of these games which are massive score per minute games and victory games. You see people completely ignore the wins and the losses just to inflate their KD a little, and I think that's really bad, because playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2, focusing on objectives, running around, it makes it a lot more fun for everyone. It's a much more enjoyable game to play when you're not running into these people on random head glitches miles from the objectives just because they've seen Ronaldinho get 100 kills and they want to try and emulate him, even though for them it's 99% impossible. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed the gameplay. I hope you've enjoyed the commentary as well, because I'm pretty interested to see what you guys think about this. If you would leave a comment saying what you think, I'd be very, very interested to read what you say. But guys, once again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.